Okay, so our presentation is over St. Vincent de Paul. We did our volunteer hours there, and this is our servant leadership project. And I'm Eileen. I'm Mackenzie.
And Miranda.
And so first we're going to talk about the history and more specifically the founders of St. Vincent de Paul. So obviously St. Vincent de Paul himself was the main founder. He lived from 1581 to 1660. And he was the founder of the congregation of this mission. He was recognized for the Daughters of Charity, confraternities of the Daughters of Charity, and the Ladies of Charity. St. Vincent de Paul was a man of deep faith, keen intellect, and enormous creativity. He has become known as the Apostle of Charity and the Father of the Poor. His contributions to the training of priests and organizing parish missions and other services for the poor shaped our church's role in the modern world.
So another founder was St. Louise de Marillac. She was born 1591 and lived till 1660. Was another founder of St. Vincent de Paul. She was a contemporary of St. Vincent, was inspired and directed by Vincent's spiritual leadership. She was Vincent's collaborator in founding the Daughters of Charity and organizing hospitals for the sick, poor, asylums of the orphaned, workshops for the unemployed, championing of literacy for the uneducated, and establishing standards for local charities. Louise was a wife, mother, teacher, nurse, social worker, and religious founders.
Okay.
So Frederick Osman left his home in Loin, France in the autumn of 1831 for Paris. He registered in the School of Law at Sorbonne University of Paris. Frederick collaborated with Mr. Emmanuel Bailey, editor of the Tribune Catholic, in reviewing a student organization which had been suspended during the revolutionary activity of July 1840. They called the new association the Conference of History. The group met on Saturdays to discuss various topics, everything but politics. At one of their meetings, a student challenged Frederick and the practicing Catholics. He admitted that the Catholic Church had done much good work in the past. But what do you do now? Frederick called a meeting of 5 of his friends. They agreed to meet at Mr. Bailey's office. The date was April 23rd, 1833. Frederick's 20th birthday. Inspired by their words, Frederick decided to found the Conference of the Charity to assist the poor. Emmanuel Bailey, the married layman, was chosen by the 6 students as their first president in a short time. They changed their name to the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in order of their patron.
Okay, and I'm also going to talk a little about the history too that doesn't have to deal with the people that worked there. So St. Vincent came about to bring items such as clothing, food, hygiene products, and also to offer education to people in the community. St. Vincent accepts anyone, no matter your background, race, gender, age, just basically anyone in the community that needs help. You don't have to be super poor, or even if you're living a comfortable life, you can still go into St. Vincent and not feel judged. So their mission is to help people become more self-sufficient and eliminate some barriers that somebody may have.
So the history, the Society of St. Vincent de Paul was established in St. Louis, Missouri at the Basilica of St. Louis, King of France, popularity called the Old Cathedral in 1845. Father John Timons, an American priest of Pennsylvania and later Bishop of Buffalo, New York. Father John Timon was the one who brought copies of the rule of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul back from Dublin, Ireland to St. Louis. He later spoke with many people about the society and its wonderful work with the poor. Bishop Peter Richard Kendrick, successor of the first bishop of St. Louis, Rosati, asked Father Ambrose Him to establish the Society of St. Vincent de Paul and be its spiritual advisor. Father Him was known by all for his extraordinary zeal in ministry with the poor. He became known as the priest of the poor. The first meeting of the Society of St. Vincent de Paul in the United States was held on November 20th, 1845, only 12 years after its foundation in Paris. 19 of the most prominent Catholic laymen of St. Louis attended. Dr. Moses Clinton was elected president. Brian Mulnafi, Vice President Dennis Galvin, Second Vice President James McGuire, Jr., Secretary Patrick Ryder, Treasurer, and Ambrose Hiem, Spiritual Advisor. The conference was aggregated, formally recognized by the Society International Council in Paris on February 2nd, 1846.
So now that we kind of have the main history, unless Miranda, do you have anything else to add?
No, that's good.
So now the next topic we're going to discuss is kind of their mission and values. So originally inspired by gospel values, St. Vincent de Paul, a Catholic lay organization, leads women and men to join together to grow spiritually by offering person-to-person service to those who are needy and suffering in the tradition of its founder, Blessed Frederick Ozanam, and patron St. Vincent de Paul. As a reflection of the whole family of God, members who are known as Vincentians are drawn from every ethnic and cultural background, age group, and economic level. Vincentians are united in an international society of charity by their spirit of poverty, humility, and sharing, which is nourished by prayer and reflection, mutually supportive gatherings, and adherence to a basic rule. Organized locally, Vincentians witness God's love by embracing all works of charity and justice. The society collaborates with other people of goodwill in receiving need and addressing its causes, making no distinction in those served, because in them Vincentians see the face of Christ.
So the social issues of St. Vincent de Paul tries to overcome included. So helping people live in poverty. St. Vincent de Paul welcomes everyone with open arms. So age discrimination is addressed because St. Vincent de Paul accepts volunteers of all ages. Some volunteers are 90 years old. This allows people of all ages to serve their community. Anyone is allowed to come into the store and shop for personal items without making people feel inferior in any way. This allows people to try to further their education no matter what is going on in their personal lives. And as we were volunteering, I think that we all got to experience that, just watching everyone get to volunteer and everybody had a spot. It didn't matter who you were. They didn't discriminate your volunteer hours. They accepted everyone.
Definitely.
Another example of that too was my very first day. I started Watch Center until, backtracking. There was a mom that had a 1-year-old and they didn't care what was going on in her life. All they cared about was that she was really out to help herself and further her education. So they were very supportive. They weren't really judgmental with her. They just were like, whatever works for you, we'll offer assistance for your child. But unfortunately, she backed out of school, so that kind of ended anyone's experience in that area. But so that's what we've kind of had for the social issues.
Which kind of goes along with their mission and just accepting everybody in
Yeah.
as a Catholic organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to talk about the nature of our project. Up here really quick. So we really wanted to do anything that was considered a small task to help the store run more efficiently. So whatever we could do to possibly help in any way is what we really were set out to, what we were looking forward to doing. Every time we came into the store, we would ask right away, what can we do to help you today? Or even if like Tammy, the supervisor, wasn't around, it's like seeing that somebody looks like they might have needed help with something, we kind of just jump in and do that.
Or the floor is unorganized and there's just doesn't look very neat, we could just take initiative and organize that before finding the next task to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like some of the tasks that they would send us to go do, or they would like send us off to the floor to like re-rack the clothes in the back to make sure that they were organized. So we would sort them and make sure that they were all facing forward, so they were neat for the customers to be able to find their size, and make sure that they were sorted by girls and boys, and make sure that the hangers were taken off if there were no clothes on it. They just wanted everything to look neat for all the customers that would be coming in.
And not just that it's for charity or the less fortunate people. They want it to look just like any normal store, because each person has the right to feel welcome, and like the materials that they're purchasing are still in good quality and condition.
Mm-hmm. And another thing I want to talk about too was a little bit, you really can see how much stuff they receive in a day. Like bread, I mean, when I was there, there'd be like days that they'd drop off like mounds of bread.
And good places, like obviously Hy-Vee, but Panera, and there's a ton of donations from Panera, and they were like, wow, this is nice bread, and it really is. It's great to see how much.
And they put new bread out, like once it's gone, there's more bread in the back, so they just keep refilling the bread.
All day, there's enough for everybody. Multiple
loaves of bread to their families, which is nice because bread isn't cheap, so they at least can go there and get nice food for their families.
Mm-hmm. And some of the clothing was really nice too. Like a lot of the stuff I noticed when I was helping tag was that a lot of the stuff even had the price tags still on them. And reading the name brands, I know that some of that stuff was not cheap. And on that right when you walk in, there's like bins just full and full of clothes.
Yeah, there was
it's really amazing.
Bags full of clothes that hadn't even been put to the shelves. And some of the clothes that were there was like name brands like Nike and Victoria's Secret. It's like nice stuff. And
the North Face, all of those, and it's just
Columbia,
good brands that are good quality and hopefully will hold up for those people who can buy them at lower prices.
I asked one of the workers once if they ever had like the intake area where they keep all the clothes, if they've ever had that have nothing in it. And they said they did that once and it took a long time. So I always thought one day what if we could get a bunch of people to come in and help clear that out? But it would take a long time. It would be a really good task to try to do for them someday.
And even after completing the hours, there's a main manager or supervisor, Tammy, was come back anytime you want. And I think I really will, because it would be rewarding to see that pile dwindle down and help them in any way I can.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I liked was that they had baby clothes that were so cheap, 75 cents that you pointed out when we were there.
Yeah, because sometimes babies, it makes so much sense to buy them secondhand, because people buy them when their babies grow so fast and they hardly have a chance to wear them. So I guess the main point is just that they're in great condition. And it's nice that children born in more families of poverty, or even not, use good items.
Yeah. And also too, that also makes me think of, if the items are not good quality, they take everything, and I can't remember the term that they used for it. I don't remember what they call it, but it's basically they take all their clothes that they don't want to put out on the floor and they send it to Haiti. So at least somebody is using it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If people organizations do that.
No. If they can't wear it as clothes, I'm sure you could use that clothing for so many other things, make
blankets
bags or blankets, or
something for somebody in the world can use, which is really awesome.
Oh yeah.
There's a use for it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So The synopsis, the work that we did when we went, the work that we did went very well, and we were all extremely happy with what we accomplished. It was fun getting to serve the community and connect with the volunteers and work of St. Vincent de Paul. Our overall goal for this project was to help in any way we possibly could. We wanted to help make the workers and volunteers' daily tasks more simple, while also providing the people in the community with essentials. In conclusion, we all believe that our goals were accomplished. The staff of St. Vincent de Paul was extremely appreciative of our work. Watching the to-do list dwindle down was a reward in itself. Our work connected with Mercy's core values because we used knowledge, reverence, integrity, compassion, and excellence. Knowledge in the way we were trying to improve the health of people by help distribute food, clothing, and personal hygiene products. Reverence in the way we started to shape relationships with servant leaders in our community, and integrity in the way we were sincere in our intentions to help others, and honesty in keeping track of our hours. Compassion in the way we sense solidarity with the workers and volunteers every time we walked in the door. Lastly, excellence by achieving our goals of helping the people of St. Vincent in big and small ways.
Alright, so I'm going to pull something here too. And I honestly think that the volunteers were so helpful, because when we went in to volunteer, they were really short. Each time I went in, there would be people that went home sick, or somebody had just quit.
Yeah,
and
they're really short.
They're really short. And so each time we went in, they were very helpful, or we were very helpful, because they just were so short in everything that we did. They really needed us.
And one thing I really liked too was that it seemed like the majority of the workers I was always there with were actually like pretty happy with being there. I mean, they were always like joking around with each other, which was nice to see that they were having fun. And it appeared that they were enjoying what they were doing, which I'm sure it was tiring because of all the stuff that they have to do in the same day. I mean, it's repetitive work. They're kind of doing the same thing to keep the store moving. But I mean, yeah, I really liked the ladies that were there. They were super fun to be around. So
Definitely. So, in conclusion, as a group, what we learned is that it is not difficult to find ways to help out in our community. The smallest of tasks can really make a large impact on a group. We learned how to work with different cultures, diversity in age groups. Like we said, there's all different ages shopping in this store. There's the volunteers as well, and diversity is huge there. There's people of all cultures and ethnic groups, everything. So it's really amazing to see everybody together, and each person is treated as a person of God. Everybody's treated equally. To see. We also learned that that a large population in the that there is a large population in the community that are in dire need of help, and that there still needs to be a lot of things done to help. 30 minutes of volunteer work has a profound effect. So helping out does not require hours and hours out of your day. The small things count and matter. And I think that that's something a lot of people lose sight of, is that my goal in life is to do some sort of mission trip or something, and that'll be great. But I think a lot of people who are itching to get out to Haiti or a country in more need, which that is great, but there's so much that you can do right here in the United States, and even more specifically right here in Iowa and in Des Moines. It's every community, there's people struggling for everyday needs that we can, if we put our minds to it and our time and get a group of people together, we can really make an impact.
mm-hmm.
Just like helping just for a little bit of time each week in your own community can really make a small impact, or even just a big impact each week. Like we can do so much for those people.
And talking about your future plans that we have to continue being a servant leader, one thing I would really like to do is, I mean, when you walk in that intake area, I'm a very organized person, so seeing all the items they have, like, it just seems like so much, so overwhelming. So someday I think it'd be really cool if we could get a bunch of Mercy students or anyone to come in and like really like on a weekend or something just tackle all that like mess. But I mean just really
kind of just
like organize it so it would be easier for the workers there, which I'm sure that would probably be like that'd be more of a like a large impact. But that's kind of like something I'd really like to see for them someday.
Yeah. And I'd love to be part of that. I think we all can agree that we'd like to help out with that. So become more active volunteers by doing more hands-on work, such as so there's people on which we haven't had the chance to do that. We pretty much stayed in the retail area, but they do have people who delivers, or there's specifically one lady who comes on Saturdays and takes some of the leftover bread and pastries that were left from the week and takes and clothes that I guess they don't need at the time and delivers them to the homeless on the weekends. And they also have sometimes homeless drives. So that was part of one of the days I was there. I was organizing men's, women's, and children's clothes that they would have for those people to come pick out. And they have lots of suits and nice dresses or something that people could wear to an interview, which was really cool. So that it really helps them get their lives on their back on their feet. And I think that for me personally, something I would like to do is be more hands-on. Was great. I would totally do it again. It would be really cool and rewarding as well to see those homeless people receive clothing and food. So that's something on my bucket list as far as my servant leadership goals go.
Well, that pretty much sums up our project that we did at St. Vincent de Paul. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to add?
I guess just thank you for all of the opportunity to get involved with the community.
All right, I'm gonna end it then.